Well, hey guys, Juan here, and thanks for checking out this latest edition of Coffee Talk. And recently I made a video about homeschooling, a coffee talk on homeschooling. So this video is a continuation off of that video. If you want to watch that first one, it's the pros and cons of homeschooling. You can check it out on this card right here. Now this video here is a continuation, and it's my wife and I talking about our experiences with homeschool. And this one's all of Beth's 7, my wife's name is Beth, it's her 7 best tips for homeschooling. So check this out, and hopefully you guys can learn something from it, take something away from it, and just add it to your homeschooling life. Or if you're thinking about homeschooling, hopefully this will help you out in deciding whether it's right for you. So check it out. Beth is going to give you 7 tips that she has learned through the years of homeschooling, through the 4 years that we've done this. 7 tips to homeschooling.
Okay, so first of all, the first one is pick the curriculum that best fits you and your family. So we're going into year 5, and we have done 3 different curriculums. The first year when we were in elementary school, we did one called My Father's World, and that was fantastic for elementary school age, and we usually tend to pick a Christian-based curriculum. As they've gotten older, I found that wasn't really effective. We did 2 years where I actually pieced together our own curriculum, which is easy to do because you can just go to a homeschool store or school store, and you can pick what you want to use for math, English, science, whatever it is that you're going to do that year, and we kind of pieced it together. For the last 2 years, last year and then now going into this year, I've used one called ACE, Accelerated Christian Education, and I really like this one so far, so we're giving this another year. But don't be afraid to pick a curriculum and then change it midway through. The bad thing is that if you're going to buy a curriculum for the entire year, it can get pricey if it's something that halfway through the year you decide you're not really a fan of. But you can pick and choose and piece together what works best for your family. The second tip I have is make a schoolroom with whatever you have available to you. If it's your kitchen, your dining room, if you have an extra room in your house to where you can designate that as your homeschool room, we currently use our dining room. So our dining room table, especially throughout the school year, is a mess. It is filled with books and curriculum and pencils and erasers and paper and all kinds of just mess. And so, but that is what we use for our schoolroom. So our dining room, if you want to eat dinner there, we're pushing away all the mess so we can eat there at night. If I had an actual extra room in the house, I would designate that. So all over our walls we have maps, and we have I don't know what we have, just homeschool stuff all over the place. Number 3, I would say take breaks for your sanity and for theirs. The first couple years I thought we had to start at exactly 8:30 in the morning, and we had to finish at 2:30 in the afternoon because that's what they had done in public school. And I thought, why are we done so early? Like, that concerned me quite a bit. And then I forgot to take breaks and to do stuff like that also. So make sure that you do that, because if you're working on math with your child for 45 minutes and they are not getting it, it's frustrating for them, super frustrating for you, and it's time to send them outside, have 25 minutes of recess, and just kind of decompress for yourself and for them.
Yeah, there'll be frustration and tears when you're doing this sometimes.
Yes. And kind of along that same line, your school day will not be as long as a regular public school day. I kind of hit on that in my last tip. That was something I was concerned about because they were gone in public school for 7 hours a day, and I was finding myself, especially for 2nd and 3rd graders, done with our entire day's worth of curriculum in like 2.5, 3 hours. And I thought, I would always tell him, what am I missing here? We already did our math, we did our English, we did our writing, we did our spelling, everything that we were supposed to do. And I had a what do I want to say, like a sheet of what I was supposed to do, like a guideline. That's not the right word I'm looking for, but And I thought, why, we're done in 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And I was thinking I was really missing something. Well, then I had spoke to a teacher friend of mine, and she said, and she is a public school teacher, and she said that she probably teaches, she was a second grade teacher, and she said that she probably taught 2 to 3 hours a day, even though they're at school for 7 hours, because they have 3 recesses, they have lunch break, they have gym, they have music, art, library time. So if you break it all down, 3 hours a day is probably about normal. And our kids are now going into the 6th and 7th grade, and 3 to 4 hours is probably still a normal time frame. Number 5, I have pick a certified teacher whom you trust and will help you along the way. I have a friend of mine named Mary who I text throughout the year and ask questions, and she also does our evaluation at the end of the school year. At the end of the school year, when she evaluates, she doesn't just flip through everything and be like, okay, they're on to the next grade. Like, she really looks at it. She sees what we've done for the year, and she's very helpful about giving us tips on what we can change, what we can do, and what might help throughout the next school year. So if you can find somebody like that, it's super helpful.
And if you don't have a certified teacher that you can reach out to, I would say partner up with another family that has been doing it for a few years, and see what kind of suggestions and tips that you can pick up from, a veteran homeschooler that maybe near you, or heck, online even possibly.
Right. And your public school, when you sign up to take them out of school or to homeschool, if you don't have anybody to do your evaluation at the end of the year, they will provide you with somebody. We were just lucky enough to know a teacher and who does our evaluations for us, and that's super nice. Let's see. Number 6, I have customize your curriculum and how you teach suited to your child's personality. We talked a little bit before about how my daughter really struggled with reading, and I freaked out about this. I thought, you have to read, and I would always tell Juan, our daughter can't read. You can't go through life not knowing how to read. And he would always say, oh, she'll get it. And then it was finally like, boom, she can read.
It just clicked.
Yeah, it finally just clicked. She can read anything that you give her. Now we're struggling a little bit on spelling, but I'm sure that will come in time too. She has trouble with like the word sounds the same but spelled different, like here or road or there. But I'm sure that most kids struggle with that until they can get the hang of it. Our son struggles in math. But to customize your curriculum and how you teach suited to your child's personality. So I know that spelling and math are trigger points for our kids. They're struggling with those two things. So I can, like my son's going into 7th grade, since he does struggle in math, I don't have to buy 7th grade curriculum for him for math. If I want to go back to the end of 5th grade or beginning of 6th grade to make sure that he's getting it, I can do that and he can still be in 7th grade. So I think that was a big one for me. I thought, what, did he fail this school year? At first I wasn't sure on what to do there. And then when I talked to my teacher friend Mary, she said, he doesn't have to be in 4th grade math if he's doing 3rd grade math. And so if he's a little bit behind, I think that's okay. By the time they get into high school, they're going to be just fine, is what everyone says, because in high school you get to pick and choose which math you're going to do. If he doesn't want to choose trigonometry, then he doesn't need to. Chances are he's not going to need that nor be a scientist. So I think he'll be okay as long if he takes pre-algebra. So we'll see. And then number 7 is relax. I totally struggle with this one myself. I find myself stressed out a lot, and I freak out if I think that we're getting behind throughout the school year or they're not on grade level like they should be. But public school teachers have even reassured me that they rarely complete their goal curriculum for the entire year. You know, at the beginning of the year, they set out what they want to teach throughout the year, and most likely they're not going to finish that. So for me as a homeschool mom, if I don't get every single thing that I had planned at the beginning of the year done, I don't think that our kids are going to suffer for that one. This is really precious time with our kids, and I totally have to remind myself about that because they're only little for a little while, and it's sometimes that's hard to remember, especially for me because I'm home with them all the time, and sometimes I have to I vent to him so he gets the brunt of it sometimes, and I can't do it anymore. But a lot of parents don't have the option to homeschool, so in that aspect we are pretty lucky that we can do it.
We're blessed.
Yeah. So, relax. That's a tough one for me a lot, but I try to remind myself, you know, I'm not always going to have this time with them. Yeah. So I think that's all I have.
All right, so we'll end this note on a quote that Reggie Joyner, that has stuck with me through the years of being a youth pastor. I use this quote a lot, but Reggie Joyner is the guy who leads the Orange company, Orange Curriculum, the Orange Tour. But his quote said that if you want to influence kids' future, you need to influence their faith, their choices, and their relationships. So remember those three things, and if you want to influence your kids' future, think on those three things and influence those three things, and I think you'll be able to steer them down the right path and down the right road. So okay, well, hopefully you guys picked up some tips and tricks with this homeschooling coffee talk video. I think it's going to be one of our longer coffee talk videos. She's a talker, yeah. So the more you guys see her in the videos, the more you'll learn that. So, but don't be afraid to comment down below with any kind of questions. We always check out the comments, and we like to engage with our audience. But thank you guys for watching this, and until the next video, be creative.
I'm sitting